And now, Fastened Like Nails with Dr. Mark Hamby.
So Callie Nash is just a tiny little book that was written by Sarah S. Baker, and we received it and we're like, this doesn't look like it's going to be very much, but we started reading it and immediately we fell in love with the story. So my coworker gave it to me. I'm reading it, literally laughing the entire book. I'm reading it, and the way the author phrased different things, she just has a very unique, beautiful way of seeing different things. And so then I'm like, Mark, we're going out for ice cream. If you're staying back, you have to read this story. And I handed it to you. And then what was that like for you?
I read it, and I'm going like, every child in the universe has to read this story because it's about a child who doesn't think of the consequences of his actions. And it seems like every junior high student in the world, they are told, what were you thinking? And this is a story that really will help young people to understand that there are consequences, not just consequences here and now, but there are eternal consequences for not thinking. So as I'm reading Callie Nash, The Boy Who Didn't Think, the very first thing I thought of was Proverbs chapter 1, where 6 children are mentioned. The simple, the knowledgeable, the wise, the discerning, and then the fools and the mockers. And the simple, the definition for simple in Hebrew is a child who doesn't think. A child who's thoughtless, the only way that he's to get out of his thoughtlessness is to become knowledgeable. He's got to start learning. But fools hate knowledge. And so the simple person has to decide, what direction does he want to go? Does he want to become knowledgeable, wise, and discerning? Or will he hate knowledge and move from being a simple person to a foolish person? And then, because of their insecurity, they become a mocking person.
And this is kind of what Callie Nash has to decide when he's faced with, Mr. Ingalls, some authorities in his life, who is he going to become? And so that's kind of a powerful way of looking at it.
Yeah, and he gets himself in so much trouble that he rationalizes that everyone loves him, and he's such a character that
he's so cocky. He starts off like life is about having fun. It's one big joke. The point of his life is just have as much fun as he can. And so he's like, I'm Callie Nash, the best fellow in the place, and everybody likes me, and I like myself to be in fashion. That's like his worldview. Yeah. And
so even at a point in the story where he makes a choice to do something that could cost someone their life, even then he doesn't realize the ramifications of the consequences of his choices.
It seems like, the ante keeps getting upped in each moment, like, oh, is this going to make him turn? No. Okay, how about this? And he's just teetering on the edge of this line. And at any moment he could fall over. And what happens is, one of my favorite parts is when Mr. Ingalls looks at him and he says, Callie, he says, I want you to think, my boy. He's like, I want you to think. You just don't think about the consequences to your actions. And the most powerful line in the audio drama, I think, is one day you may wish for but 5 minutes of the time you are now wasting. And when I read that in the book, I was like, whoa, that's profound. Because we just kind of have this idea in our head, like, oh yeah, time is just, it's fluid and we have as much of it as we need. And like, oh, just, a few minutes on my phone, a few minutes of this, a few minutes of that. But then it will catch up with you one day, and we're not promised tomorrow. And so this story makes you kind of come face to face with yourself and be like, what am I doing with my life? How am I living it? And it's got to be meaningful. You got to make it count. And so we kind of see that through the eyes of Callie Nash.
Callie Nash, this is a story that every child must listen to or read, because I think it will help them not only come face to face with the reality that life is eternal, and they will spend it one place or the other, either heaven or hell. That's one of the things about this drama, that the cold, hard reality of that fact is pronounced throughout this drama. But also, I think that this drama brings forth a very important reality for children, is that not only are their choices important that they make, and they have to think them through, but also, I think what this drama does for children is that it helps them to come face to face with a God who really loves them. Thank you for spending time with us today. Please join us again next week in another episode of Fastened Like Nails.
You've been listening to Fastened Like Nails, a presentation of Lamplighter Ministries. Our mission is to make ready a people prepared for the Lord by building Christ-like character one story at a time. To learn more about our family collection of rare books, dramatic audios, or guild programs, visit lamplighter.net. To hear more podcasts, search for Fastened Like Nails wherever you listen to podcasts.